Happy holidays and welcome to episode 17 of Becoming Her Anyways, the chaos that I call my life, otherwise known as this podcast. Yay! So hopefully everyone had a Merry Christmas. I just wanted to say also that I finally finished my book, Raising Me, Raising Them, Raising Them, Raising Me. I don't even know what my book is called anymore, for the love of God. It is called Raising Me, Raising Them. Yep, that's right. I finished it. I was able to print off the manuscript and give it to my mother for Christmas, which was fantastic because I started writing this in the summertime. It was never a goal for me to write a book, but now that I am finished and now that I have had, friends and family read bits and pieces of it, or I've read bits and pieces to them, and tell me that it's good, I definitely will have it edited and published. So stay tuned for that. This episode, I really wanted to talk about parenting while you're still healing. I think a lot of people think that we have to be prepared for shit, right? Before we do it, like fully prepared. And I've heard the people say, I'm not ready to have kids yet, or we'll have kids when we're ready. We've got to do this and we've got to do that, and we've got to, buy a house, get married, yada, 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 before you can have children. And that's great. Listen, to each their own, right? If people need to be married and own a home before having children, then I think that's wonderful. It's actually what I did. We bought a house, we got married, we got married, we bought a house, then we had children. So we were not homeowners. No, we were not parents until we were homeowners and married. That being said, that's not the path that everybody has to take, right? It wasn't necessarily the goal for me either. I personally didn't really, I knew I wanted children eventually, but I didn't really have like a specific path, time frame, goal that I wanted to take prior to having kids. And if I'm being completely real, what pushed me into having kids at the time that I did was I had cancer. I had a miscarriage, didn't know I was pregnant, went in to get a DNC done. They found cancer. Bingo, bango, Bob's your uncle. It was removed. It felt like even like fake cancer, so to speak. Not that there's a fake cancer out there, but it didn't feel real. And when people, ask me, and even my husband had cancer in his kidney and it was removed, it was kind of the same ordeal. Neither one of us had to have chemo, radiation. Like we didn't go through any treatments whatsoever. We were really lucky that the cancer was in a localized area, and it was biopsied, found to be cancer, but removed. And every biopsy and checkup ever since has been great. So it just feels like it wasn't real. When I think of cancer, I think of radiation, chemo, like the treatments that a lot of people undergo, the hair loss, the sickness, the fatigue, the drain, like all of that kind of goes along with it. So it just kind of felt unreal for me. With that being said, cancer is cancer, and hearing that freaking C word is not a good time. So I was one of those people who got really lucky in a sense of it was found. Now I'm at like biopsies every 5 years and I'm good to go. So knock on wood, it's going to stay okay. That's right. It's not coming back. With that being said, though, I was told because of the cancer being in my uterus that my uterus was kind of at risk. So it was a matter of if I want to have babies, I should have them sooner than later. And I've shared before that I was pregnant many moons ago with my son first, and he had died at birth, and obviously pregnant other times as well, and had losses. But I have two beautiful girls now, so great. So this episode, I just wanted to share the raw truth about raising my girls while unpacking my own trauma, my own grief, my own survival patterns, learning like really emotional regulation in real time. And so with that being said, I wasn't prepared. I wasn't fully healed. I raised my girls through all my brokenness. But the best part about raising them is that they have slowly forced me to heal. Maybe not so slowly, but I didn't heal and then become a parent. I became a parent, and that's what forced me to heal. And if you're raising kids while still figuring yourself out, then this conversation is completely for you. It truly is Something that I feel when you're healing from your own childhood trauma, I think it truly is something that happens more so when you become a parent, when you raise your own kids. And here's the reason why. I'm not saying that people couldn't have gone and dealt with their trauma and their brokenness and like found a new way or found something that, helps them with like those broken feelings or that those things that kind of made them continuously stumble. Of course, you could have gone through all of the work. Maybe you turn to drugs or alcohol, or you turn to food, or you turn to, something to help you overcome that, and then had to get rehabilitation to like overcome that in order to heal from that trauma. And kudos to you if you put all that work in. I didn't. Let's keep it real. I did not put the work in to heal my own childhood wounds until I had to reface them as a mother. Because the one thing that I knew, yes, I'm totally wearing my pajamas. Yep, it's a pajama day up in my house today. Or it is for me, anyhow. But okay, sorry, not to get sidetracked. But I did not heal those wounds prior to until I had to reface them. I knew as I would become a mom that my number one goal was to be the best mother that I could be, and to out parent my parents. Not that it was a competition, not that my parents did all these things and I was like, well, I'm gonna outsmart them and I'm gonna do it better. I just wanted to outparent them in a sense of not rewrite history and redo the wrongs. Number one, I didn't want to be a teenage mother. So I waited until I was almost my 30s. My oldest daughter was born when I was 29. Yeah, that's showing my age. And then my youngest, 33. So I really was not a teenage mom. I wanted to, make sure that when I parented them, that I was more focused on them and that I put them first. Not that I think that that's the way to go either, because what I'm really learning as I'm healing is that you have to always be your number one priority, regardless of whether you have kids or not. And that's a hard one for me because that honestly and truly is something that I don't necessarily still do on a regular basis. I put my kids first. And here's the thing, moms that are listening, and some dads that are listening as well, to anybody who like is parents that are listening. So anyone who like feels and understands this, you're no good if you're falling apart, right? You're no good to anyone if you're broken. We need to put ourselves first. We need to put our health first. We need to put our mind, body, and soul. Holistically, we need to put ourselves first. And then we can be that much more for the people who rely on us and who need us. I don't do that always. And I don't, pretend to be this perfect parent. Do I try to parent at the level of perfection? Yeah. Yes, I do. And I can admit that, but I'm far, far from perfect. I'm just a hot ass mess like everyone else, just trying to make the shit work, and trying to make the best out of it and trying to raise girls that don't need me. Period. I just need to raise them into complete and utter independence so that they don't need me, and perhaps I will get an ROI of some sort, Just saying. Don't throw my ass in a nursing home. I will be the naked runner if you throw me in a nursing home, girls. Hopefully you're listening. Hopefully your friends are listening to pass that off. I have said this time and time again, but you will not throw me in a nursing home. That's the ROI that I'm looking for. No, but in all seriousness, I definitely did not finish healing my trauma prior to, and there are still so many pieces of me that I'm working on. For those who know me, I'm a little outspoken. I think even just listening to this podcast, you've already, put those pieces together. But I'm very outspoken. I am opinionated, I guess, to a degree. Like I give my opinion on things sometimes when it's not warranted by my children or not wanted by my children, but whatever. I try my best to still put my best foot forward when it comes to them. And sometimes they are my everything. Like I was just talking to my oldest this morning with her boyfriend, and we were having a conversation about the fact that when they don't need me anymore, I might be a little lost because I have placed them as like my number one priority in so many facets. It's unreal. But with that being said, I do have to put myself first again. So I'm working on that. Um, let's get back to the actual raw healing though. The healing in which, when your kid wants to go somewhere for the first time, the healing in which, I don't know why I started with that, but like there are things that like come up, like my kid wanting to go downtown for the first time and then realizing that the broken little girl inside of me was scared of something happening to her because I put myself in a shitty situation one time where I was almost raped. And it was probably one of the scariest moments of my life. And it's something that I've shared with my kids. But when my kids wanted to go downtown and my oldest wanted to go downtown for the first time with her friends, it was a little bit trying for me because though I've raised her to be open and mindful and smart, it was not necessarily that I wasn't smart, but to like make smarter choices. I can't control what other people will attempt with my child, right? So I put my own trauma in front of my decision to let her, show me this level of independence. She was old enough, she was wise enough, she was mature enough. She was what's the word? She was ready, right? But I wasn't because I allowed my own fear from my own trauma, overcome my decision. Not overcome, but take over when it came to my decision. So ultimately, I talked to her father about it and asked him to make this decision because I wasn't ready because my own trauma had me living with a lot of fears when it came to like allowing her to have that independence. So these are things that I had to work through. These are things that I had not really faced, but I had to start facing again and had to heal and had to take ownership of. And the biggest part of healing, and this is something that I think a lot of people don't really consider, but it's something that in working with someone through my healing process opened my eyes to, is that you, through all the shit storms you've gone through in your life and that you'll still go through, there's positive. I know. I said what I said. There is something to learn and something to take away from every bullshit thing that has been thrown at us. And even me almost being raped. I put myself in a predicament with a grown ass man, when I was a teenager, that I allowed myself to almost become a victim of something that I was not prepared to do. I was a virgin. I was not ready to have my virginity taken, let alone be taken by somebody who I didn't give permission to. And the positivity out of that situation, number one, was to have these conversations with my daughters later on in life so that they could be a little bit more mindful of putting themselves in predicaments. So that's sharing my story with other people who could make smarter choices based on the stupid choices that I made. But also that I would appreciate and value myself a little bit more later on because of that predicament. So again, a lot of the crap that we've gone through and that we will continue to go through, there's always something positive. There's always a lesson. Not necessarily a lesson. No, lesson is the word I'm looking for, but there's something positive to take from it. And for me, that's been a big part of my healing, to look at this stuff that I've gone through and look at what I learned from it. That's the positivity, right? What did I take away that helped shape my character, that helped me, be a better person. And from that incident, I didn't want that to be, I didn't think that this would be a big part of this podcast, but mais c'est la vie. It's me being raw and being vulnerable. So it's c'est la vie. It is what it is. But that particular incident definitely helped me be more, I don't want to say guided. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, it helped guide me. It helped prepare me to be a little smarter, right? It gave me the knowledge, fear, I guess, also. It gave me that knowledge and fear. It gave me that intelligence, for lack of a better way to put it, to make smarter decisions that didn't put me in such a vulnerable state. Right? And therefore, it's a story that I can share with other people so they don't make the same stupid choices that I did. I know, I think I've just repeated that, but ultimately, that was the lesson in that. So, all I really want to say is that if you believe that, you are a broken, hot mess, you probably are. So am I. We all are. And the point is to re-solidify your foundation one freaking step at a time, and just know that it's not going to be a solid foundation prior to parenting. And great if it is, but in most of our cases it's not, and it's okay to fill those cracks and to fix those cracks, not fill them. We'll fix, whatever, along the way as you're parenting, because we're not perfect beings. We can strive to be perfect, which again is something that I've aimed for, when it comes to like gearing my kids and like raising them and preparing them for this, level of independence that doesn't require, they don't require, me to constantly be there, and they're not leaning on me. That goal that we're all trying to achieve in parenting, we can do that being broken hot messes. Okay? I have honestly seen a lot of my friends raising their kids, a lot of my kids' friends who have made mistakes, whose parents have been, disaster, a mess, and still been successful at the level of parenting, at the parenting level. That's not what I'm trying to say, but have been successful at parenting. And it's okay. It's okay that you're a hot mess. Just jump on the train and keep going. And honestly and truly, fill the voids, not the voids, fill the gaps, fix the broken pieces along the way. That's okay. That's what I'm doing. And I think I'm still doing a wonderful job when it comes to parenting. I think my kids are great. And I think that if that's you and you feel like, damn it, I don't know what I'm doing. None of us do. None of us really know what we're doing. We're just trying to do the best that we can with what we've got, right? And I think that's the goal. And we're just trying to, patch the pieces along the way. And that's okay. Keep going. That's the goal. Don't give up, right? It's when you walk away and you choose something, another path over your kids. That's not the goal. The goal is to stay the course. And when the shit gets tough, you just keep going, right? That's when you push harder. That's when you try harder. And that's when you fix your pieces. You're kind of forced to face stuff that, especially for us that, got broken during our childhood years. You're kind of forced at that point to face some shit that you didn't necessarily think you were going to ever face again. But the point is, face it. Take it head on. Embrace those moments and just try to heal yourself along the way. That's what I'm doing. And that, I feel works. And you're never going to be perfect and you're never going to be ready, because this shitstorm of parenting, you don't know what's coming. I promise you. There are going to be moments and hiccups where you're like, nobody prepared me for this. Because you can't be prepared for this. It's like the unknown. It's like literally a whole different universe, this parenting stuff. But it is so worth it. And the more you invest into your parenting, the better off your kids are going to be, which means the better off you're going to be, because they're going to have that solidified unit. And then the other piece that I just wanted to share with everyone is communication. Communication is key. I feel like the most successful parents that are out there are the ones that like have that open dialogue with their kids. There should be no reason for your kid to hide shit from you. Just like there should be no reason for you to hide shit from your kids. And don't get me wrong, obviously there are things that we hide from our children. Freaking Elf on the Shelf, Santa Claus, there's shit we hide, even at different ages, right? We're not obviously, doing certain things in front of them. You know what I mean? So obviously there are things that you should hide, but you know what I'm trying to say. You should have those open communication. The door should always be open. Your kids should be able to come and talk to you about anything. There are going to be conversations that you are not prepared for. There were conversations that my children had with me that we were talking about it this morning, that I am still in shock over. But I've had people also say to me, they didn't need to come to talk to you about that. They could have gone somewhere else. Even my doctor at one point told me I was a really good parent, and I needed to hear that, which felt good. And he had explained to me something that my daughter had shared with me. He was like, Sasha, she didn't need to tell you. The fact that she told you means that she's very comfortable with you, which I think is key. Like, you have to make yourself vulnerable and uncomfortable during parenting. And I promise you it's going to be worth it in the end, because at the end of the day, you are going to create such independent little beings that they don't need you anymore. And that's the goal, to parent them successfully so that they're independent and that they don't need parenting anymore. And then what happens when you make them so independent? They come and they try to parent you. Yeah, the gift of knowledge is power that just keeps trickling downwards. But anyways, that's a whole different episode. So enjoy the holidays. Stay warm. It's a nasty one out here in Quebec. We're having an ice storm. Yay, good times. Stay warm, stay bundled up. Enjoy the holidays. And just remember, you're never ready. Nobody's perfect. The whole point is to just keep going. And if you're healing while you're raising your children, that's okay. Just keep going. You totally got this. You totally got this, girl.